Alright, I'm out here and try to get some more cleaning up done here. Kind of hard to do in this wheelchair, but I'll get there. Now, what I'm going to do, it's hard to do, folks. But I'm doing the best I can do. You know, a while ago, I got to thinking about the first time I ever worked in a furniture factory, which was back in the 60s. And the name of the company that I went to work for was Sherrill Upholstery. So I looked up on the internet, said they were still in business. And lo and behold, yes they are. And then I looked up when they were founded. They were founded in 1945. Buddy Sherrill come home from World War II. And he was looking for a job. And back then, Hickory, this is in Hickory, North Carolina. Back then, there weren't many furniture upholstery factories. There was furniture there, but it was case goods. Case goods is like tables, dining room chairs, stuff like that. And bedroom furniture. But he started this company, Sherrill's Upholstery. He started out in an upholstery shop, reupholstery. And I'm gonna have to get further back than this. And he started making furniture. He started making furniture. And that's how Sherrill's got their start. Boy, that's got to stop. They've got to stop dumping cat litter out here. That is utterly ridiculous. My gosh. But he started that in 1940, after he got home from the World War II. And that's how Sherrill got started. The way I got my job there, I was working for Free Service and Appliance Company. I was delivering and installing washers and stuff like that, automatic washers. And I was only making $1.45 an hour. I've been trimming these wires. Right, that's the wrong bucket. Here's the bucket. And I was trying to get a nickel or a dime raise, and they wouldn't give it to me. And my brother-in-law, he worked in Hickory, North Carolina at Sherrill Upholstery. And he, let's see, that's got to go over here. He said, well, why don't you move to Hickory and get a job where I work? He said they're starting to train a new crew for trimmers. And they'll train you. So when I went over there, sure enough, and Hickory's only about an hour and a half drive from Asheville. I was living in Asheville. And this is dirt, so I'll push that down there. So I went over there, they hired me right off the bat and started me out as a trainee at $1.85 an hour. So that was 40 cents more an hour than I was making in Asheville. And after about 8 weeks, I was well trained. And they asked me then, said, do you think you're ready to go on piece rates? And piece rates, you'll make more money. So I told them, yeah, I'll go on piece rate. But see, when I went to work there, they were training like 5 new people for trimmers. And trimmers are the last person that works on a piece of furniture before it gets shipped out. A trimmer puts on the outside arms, the outside back, the skirts. And so they put me on piece rates. Then I started making like $3.50 an hour average. Man, I was shitting in the high cotton. But Sherrill Upholstery is still going 60 years later after when I worked there. And they were founded in 1945. After 45, and the what did they do? So you have to cut all this stuff off of these wires, and I know this one here don't work, but there's some copper in that thing. That'll go with my transformers. And that I was doing good. You know, the way a furniture factory works, they have these, they call lines. And back then, Sherrill only had one trimmer line, but there was But seeing the way that works, they build the frames in another part of the building. The frames come out to fill orders, and the sewers and the cutters get the different pieces of fabric that goes on that particular piece of furniture. Then it goes to the spring up guy. He puts webbing on the bottom, puts springs on that, and ties 8-way hand-tied coils and a decking on it. That's the part your cushion sits on. Then it goes to the seat man. He builds the seat. You know, pads it and all that stuff, and builds the seat. Then it goes to the arm guys, and there's usually 2 of them. It goes to the arm guys. They do the arms. Then it goes to the back, and the back man does the back part there that your back leans against and everything. He does the back. Meanwhile, somebody's filled the cushions with the filling, and they set the cushions in there to make sure they fit snug like they're supposed to and everything. Then, when it leaves the back man, it goes to the trimmers. That would be me. We put the outside arms on, the outside back, the skirt, and make sure everything's perfect, because once you get done with it, it goes to the inspectors, and there's usually 3 or 4 inspectors. And inspectors on my line, he was a bitch. I mean, didn't nothing go. And you hate to get a piece sent back to you to have to redo somehow or another, because then you got to take something apart and all that crap. When you have to do that, you're losing money. But then when the inspector passes it goes to shipping. It gets wrapped or put in the carton and ships out. And every time you go to a stage like the spring up man, there's a tag on there, on a little pull-off card that you pull off, and that's what you get paid for right there. That you hang on them tags. And then when it goes to seat man, he gets the tag, the arm man gets the tag, the back man gets the tab, the trimmer gets the tag. And it's kind of amazing how well that worked. And Sherlock Upholstery was and still is a high-end furniture factory. In other words, it's like the Rolls Royce of upholstered furniture. I mean, I was looking at some of the prices of what they got out there now. $3,000 and $4,000 for a cotton picking, a little love seat, and a sofa. I mean, they had some lower end stuff, but none of it was cheap. But it's amazing how they work. But I love working there. And in the 60s, when I was working there, it seemed like everybody had a cotton picking radio at their workstation, playing their kind of music. Tammy Wynette's song right then was Divorced. Cal Seals was singing Indian Lake. I can't remember some of the others. But I really enjoyed working there. But that's where I got my started. That's where I got restarted. I started to say restart. But I've got to get figure out something here. Well, here's that bottle. Go in the trash. Put some cat food out for the cat. We got this one cat here, Houdini. He don't want to go inside. She's probably one of the cats. I think it's Reese. But it also might be Ash too. Now that's Pebbles there. No, wait a minute. That's Ash. That's Ash. You know, some cats' hair is stiff. This cat here, Ash, is super soft. Super soft. Anyhow, now what I'm gonna have to do this is a gas can. I'm gonna set this right over there. And that right there. I really don't know. I need to look at that. That's an instruction book of some kind. Who is that? Oh, that's the wheelchair. That's the wheelchair. This is gonna go. Now Jennifer is over at her friend's house, helping her cook Thanksgiving dinner, and when they get done, she's gonna bring me and Donovan and Jaden and her plate, and we're gonna have Thanksgiving dinner. And by the way, that basket I was telling you that somebody set on our doorstep from the Ocala Police Department, it also had a turkey in it. And she's put that in the freezer, so sometimes she'll fix that at a later date. What the heck's in that thing? water. I'll almost threw that away. One day I'm gonna sit in here and wash that. Have to bleach it out. That's an igloo. No, it ain't. I don't know what it is. Now, I'll tell you, boy, this is hard. Now, I'm gonna drag as much of this over here as I can. I'll tell you what, I can't believe how bad shape this deck's in there. Well, yes, I can too. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I started going in the hospital a lot. And well, shoot, look at them saw blades. I wonder if I can clean them up. Because some of them carbide tips. These were all new when they were laid there. And this thing here, this is grow bags. You put dirt, fill them up with dirt and plant your plants in them. And here's another scrapper. What have I got there? Folks, I'm getting there. I really am. You know, I was talking about Cheryl's upholstery. And I worked for Cheryl's about 2 years. And I was paying attention to a lot of stuff that going on besides my area that I worked in. And I decided I wanted to open a real, I decided I could do it. And with the help of my wife, we opened the shop. But we didn't open it in Hickory. We moved back up in the mountains to Andrews, North Carolina, and we were living in Nana. That's where my wife was born and raised, Nana. And I met this guy up there. His name was David Soulsby. And we become friends. And him and his mama was kind of doing it. They weren't great upholsterers. They was kind of learning. But I knew more about it than they did. And there was this furniture factory in Hickory Park and Hickory Colonial. I worked for them for about a year. Well, he sold out to Clayton Marcus. And Clayton Marcus just wanted a building. So everything in his furniture factory was for sale. So I bought all of his cutting patterns, and he had a bunch of frames already built and frame parts. He had a pretty good sized operation going there. So me and David bought the frames, and most of it was early American style furniture. We bought the springs and all that stuff. And we started building that furniture that he was making. And the name of our company was David Russell. David Russell. And that's how the first shop I was involved in. That worked for about 2 or 3 years. And there was somebody going in town every weekend and setting fires on different businesses. And one weekend they nailed our business, burned it to the ground. We had insurance. And long about that time, me and David, not so much David, but his mama, she was a good seamstress, and she taught my wife how to do a lot of that sewing that my wife didn't already know. And so I was having a lot of problems with his mama. She thought I wasn't doing as much work as her son and stuff like that, which wasn't true. I was working my butt off. But we decided not to reopen the business. We split the insurance. I went my way, he went his way. And let's see, I went to I'm getting it straight in my head. There was a period of time I didn't open the shop, but I went to work for Dorsey's Interiors. That was a name brand decorator store, and they did reupholstery and all that. They didn't do it. They had their eyes working in there. I went to work for Dorsey's Interiors as a trimmer. In there, I worked there a year or two, I guess. Then, let's see, what was my shop before we moved to Virginia? I can't remember, but it wound up in Petersburg, or not Petersburg, but Hopewell, Virginia. I opened a store building classic reproduction furniture. And from that one there, we decided to close it. I don't know why we decided to close it. Yeah, I do too. My wife kicked me in the butt. She knew I forgot that. Yeah, I do. I wasn't perfect, folks. As the old saying goes, I had to get the hell out of Dodge. 'Cause I got involved in somebody that worked for me. A lady. My wife said I was going through a midlife crisis. I don't think so. I was just a sorry-ass person at that time. And we split up. She went back up to the mountain to her mama's. But we was talking on the phone. And meanwhile, after she left, I got rid of that person. And I was really messed up at that time. And my wife and I was talking on the phone a lot, and we decided we could make it work. But she insisted that we get the hell out of there. So I had a truck. I loaded up a lot of my shop equipment and everything. Closed the business, sold the furniture I had in there on the floor. I had a lot of new furniture in there. And we arranged to meet somewhere in Georgia that we knew about. It was at Winder, Georgia. And from there we went to Florida. And that's where I've been ever since. That lady, I had the most wonderful wife. Didn't know it at the time. I know it now. And I look back on that, and the girl that I got involved with, I say girl, she was like 24, 25. I think I was 38. And I don't know what the heck I ever seen in that lady. I don't know. All that time, me and my wife could have been together, and it wasn't a long period of time, but the way I didn't get caught cheating on my wife. I had a problem having this affair with this lady and married to my wife. And she could tell something was bothering me. And that's what it was. I just couldn't mentally deal with cheating on my wife. And the girl I was involved with, she was married and had 2 babies. It just didn't seem right to me. And one night at home, I told my wife I was having a big problem, and I told her what it was. She couldn't believe I was actually cheating. And at one point there before she left, I moved to my business, and I was sleeping in my business. And and she went to work for somebody else too, my wife did, another upholstery shop. And boy, I missed the home meals and everything. And I was sneaking into my wife. It was our house, but I wasn't living there anymore, and I was sneaking into that, getting leftovers she had in the refrigerator, eating her cooking. And she found out about that. She come home early one day and caught me in there getting food. So guess what she did? She changed the locks on the door. My key was no longer any good. And then she dyed her hair black, or dyed her hair blonde. She went and got a driver's license. She never had a driver's license in her life. But she had a learner's permit. You know, that's when she got a car and then decided to move up to her and went up to her mother's, drove up there. She let me know right quick. I got a lot of regrets and remorse for that period of my life. It was only about a year and a half. And boy, did she get even with that lady I was having an affair with. She got hold of her husband and told him what was going on, and wound up, she got her husband divorced her, and she thought I would take her back. I didn't want her no more. I don't know what happened. I just didn't. I didn't like. I don't know. I wish I could get this thing up here. Let's see. This is cans. This is cans. Get this up before I run over. Oh boy. But that was a bad time. It really upset my wife, but terribly. But I don't think my wife ever fully trusted me after that. I don't think she really trusted me. I wonder if I can get this pressure washer out of there. Let me see. Let me see. It's on wheels. Maybe I can. Let me see. It's coming out. Okay. Hey, Jay. GoPro stop recording. All right, here's another wire. What is that? Oh, that's a soldering iron. No, I don't scrap that. I don't scrap that at all. Now, I got to pull all that stuff out of there. I'm working on it, folks. I'm getting there, folks. Well, I done told y'all something I didn't think I'd ever tell. I'm so ashamed of it. Maybe I was going through the midlife. I don't know, 'cause she was younger. I was 38. She was 24. So that means I was 24, 34, 10. I was 14 years older than her. Turns out that girl, her name was Jackie. turns out, about 4 or 5 years later, my brother called up, and she lived in the same city as my brother George did. And me and George talked on the phone. And he told me, he said, you might be interested to know that Jackie's got ovarian cancer. And all right, folks, that's my story today. I'm sticking to it. And if the good Lord's willing, I'll see you in the next one. See ya. GoPro, stop recording.